The Cleveland Cavaliers made a big move today by firing J.B Bickerstaff as their head coach. They decided to part ways after 3 or so seasons with J.B Bickerstaff, and every single year they've seen an increase in wins and in terms of potential for like playoffs and playoff performances. They've only gotten better. Kind of came as a surprise to me because he's been one of those coaches that were in conversations for Coach of the Year last year and the year prior, but I guess they decided to let him go. And this is, I think, a lot having to do with Donovan Mitchell and his future with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I feel like Kobe Altman, the president of basketball operations for the Cleveland Cavaliers, I feel like they're trying to find any way to keep Donovan Mitchell there. And if that means Donovan Mitchell was not happy with some of the things JB Bickerstaff was doing, I guess that kind of be one thing that Kobe Altman would be willing to do, because he's trying to give, maybe the keys to the franchise to Donovan Mitchell. This was kind of rough for me as a Cavs fan, because, I've been watching the Cavs like almost every single game for the past 3 years. And so JB Bickerstaff has been really the only coach I've been really used to seeing. And it always seems like he had a good relationship with the players, and he's done a really good job at developing the young players, as in Garland and Mobley. But at the end of the day, it's kind of the nature of the business. And at the end of the day, the team is trying to win championships. And the thing is, I just hope Kobe Altman isn't moving too fast, because obviously they're trying to keep Donovan Mitchell. The Cavs were a second-round team this year. But you could, not to get into hypotheticals, but you can maybe argue that if they were fully healthy, they could have a chance to, beat Boston to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. But that's all hypothetical stuff. The truth of the matter is that they did lose in the second round after having an embarrassing first round last year against the New York Knicks. So it was a great, upgrade. And a lot of the reasons why was because, we got Max Strus and Jordan Niang. Although Max Strus and Jordan Niang didn't have great playoffs, a lot of it all just came down to Mobley and Allen having maturity and getting more used to the moment. And just Donovan Mitchell also playing together. And just the whole team playing together underneath JB. I feel like they performed a lot better this year. So this is going to be like one of those like crazy off seasons for the Cavaliers. I feel like because, if Donovan Mitchell does not end up signing, I don't know where they go. And I've heard talks about people thinking that they might trade Garland to get someone with Mitchell, because Mitchell and Garland don't really play off together too well. And my honest thing about the whole situation is, I feel like the Cavs, their whole future, I feel like before Donovan Mitchell was between Garland and Mobley, the development of those two young players, because Garland is a couple years younger than Mitchell and Mobley is younger than Garland. So like they're definitely like 5 or so years away from their prime. And Darius Garland for the past couple of years has had a lot of, you saw a lot of linear growth. You saw improvement. And then this year with a lot of injuries and a lot of other moving factors, he had not a much worse year, but he definitely didn't play up to his expectations and didn't play up to the all-star caliber player we've all seen. But for Mobley, he had a year where it was, I would say, pretty linear growth. Had a couple big playoff games, but obviously you can still see there's a lot of need for improvement for both Mobley and Garland. And also, the idea is that the Cavs, the Cavs are not a Memphis Grizzlies in terms of injuries, but they did have a fair share of injuries during the stretch where they wouldn't have Garland or Mobley, or when they only had Mitchell and Allen. Like, there was very few times when the whole starting five was on the court playing games together. So we really didn't know what we were going to get going into the playoffs. So this whole situation, I feel like, is kind of rough, because I feel like JB Bickerstaff did a great job in handling those injuries and stuff. But I also heard that there was a report that Kobe Altman was not happy with how JB Bickerstaff was playing Donovan Mitchell in terms of how many minutes he was playing. And yeah, Donovan Mitchell, all playoffs, he was banged up. Evan Mobley had a little bit of an ankle injury, and Garland had his bright spots, but then I feel like there was a lot of times he was invisible on the court and stuff like that. So it's a really weird situation, and I don't know where to go from here, because there's these two candidates that have been brought up as potential, I guess, fill-ins or whatever, or the next head coach for the Cavs, and those would be Kenny Atkinson, who is the assistant coach for the Golden State Warriors and won a championship with them in 2021. So I guess he's very experienced, and he has the championship experience, which JB Bickerstaff did not. And I guess that might be part of the thing, is that Donovan Mitchell wants to do what it takes to get to win. And although JB Bickerstaff was a great regular season coach, he only had a 6-11 record in the playoffs. So you could be a great regular season coach, but when it comes to the playoffs, it can be a whole new thing, and that's when you're really, really tested, and that's when the best of the best coaches end up, that's kind of like where you can kind of get the edge as a team, because very rarely do you see teams that have brand new coaches or not very well experienced playoff coaches really perform well. But I'm still happy of all that came from JB Bickerstaff. I feel like he did a lot of good things for the Cavaliers, and he's definitely helped move the needle, I guess, or move the team in the right direction. And I just hope that whoever comes in for him can pick off where he left off, and hopefully can push us even farther. And with all the other possible moves, if Mitchell decides to move on, I feel like it'll be rough. Or if Garland gets moved, I feel like it'll be rough as well. But there's a tons of different things that could happen. But at the end of the day, we'll just see, and all I can do is continue to report on it. So yeah, comment down below what you guys think about this whole situation. I was kind of shocked about it, and there's probably gonna be times when I miss JB Bickerstaff, probably when it gets hard during next season. But this is how the business goes, I guess. Not everything is all sunshines and rainbows. It gets pretty ugly sometimes, and you gotta make hard decisions. But yeah, so the Cleveland Cavaliers fire head coach JB Bickerstaff, currently on the look for new head coach, and we'll see how that affects Garland and Mitchell, their future with the Cavs. So yeah, comment down below what you guys think, and yeah, hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please remember to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.